David, how are you?
Good, good.
Welcome to a look behind the post.
I guess we're live already.
Yeah, we're good.
That's cool.
How's things going?
Good. I mean, as good as can be, I must say.
What's going on?
Well, there is definitely a lot happening in terms of, things that are happening online. But in the background, I'm in the midst of deciding, let's say, a step further in what I want to do, and a step closer to my ultimate goal of being at home and just watching my family grow, as I simply put it.
Yeah, yeah. And do you want to get into that, or
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. It's not something that is a secret or anything. It's basically I'm looking into a few things related to offering more services for specific local businesses. So that's just an added. Most probably it'll start as a part-time, but in the eventual future, lead to a full-time or full-time thing. Gary Vaynerchuk always says your part-time hustle should end up as something that's taking over for you. So
yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of Gary Vee.
so that's something that I'm going to. Obviously, it's apart from everything that I'm doing right now, but it's just to add also to a skill set that I think will also affect things that I'm doing online in general. Like if I'm doing affiliate marketing, it'll help me with that. If I'm doing something, building a network marketing company, it'll help me with that. So it's just basically understanding more how things work and learning a skill set. So
are we talking like kind of web-based, like building websites?
yeah, I don't need to go anywhere because I cannot at the moment, juggle two jobs and go somewhere else and stuff like that. So it's learning the skill, basically how to bring more leads to local businesses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So it's offering that service, but more looking into the paid side.
yeah,
So very focused on the local area that I could target and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
but it's a journey in itself because I think I have enough knowledge, and if I share a little bit about my background, before I moved here to the Czech Republic in India, this is ages back. I can't believe I'm going to speak about this, but
Bring it on.
I was in university actually, and a friend of mine started this music website. Very innocently started it, to be honest. We were all playing around in India in the music scene. We were quite active. We're in a couple of bands and everything together, and then he decided to put up this website. And the website was purely to track and write reviews on different bands because there were so many new ones coming up and good ones for that matter. And it's totally indie underground, let's say, in that sense, that it would really help to get that promotion out there and have it, where they start off with these small bars and then go into actual proper venues and stuff like that.
And were you playing in these bands yourself, or just reviewing?
I was playing a couple. I've played in one or two of them. But then I moved my focus into just helping my friend in the promotional side, and I had no idea what marketing was, how to do it, and we had a very fresh look on things. So I remember sitting in like a Costa Coffee and stuff like that, and actually having meetings, discussing our game plan for what we want to do, what kind of target audience, how we were going to go into other universities, because we wanted to do more street marketing, local marketing. So it was quite interesting, and I had no experience. So I was going through all these books. I was reading things about even just bands and how they did things, and what is street marketing. How can I get into like the foyers or the canteen areas of different universities and start to do like a sort of flash mob. I wouldn't say it's a flash mob, but have random things happen so that it just gains awareness for people. It's not that we were doing anything, crazy. It was just to get awareness to say, hey, this is happening. Why don't you come here or you check out the website and stuff like that. Stickers, literally everything, flyers, stickers, you name it. And it was a lot of fun, to be honest, because it was taking a step ahead to the point where I was kind of recruiting people in other universities who would help me do the promotion there. And it was quite fun because we were just doing this in our free time, and we wanted to. There was no money involved. There was nothing. It was purely to learn and enjoy ourselves in growing this kind of community. Obviously, we then went into having more gigs and different events and stuff like that. So that added to it. And I didn't realize how fast the website started to grow and get the recognition within the community itself and within people, event companies and stuff like that. So we ended up going to, I think it was 3 months after we had officially launched and got through everything, the struggles, what kind of articles we wanted to write, whether we wanted to write articles or not. And my best thing that I would say, which it might come to a shock to some people, is that I was looking into Ed Sheeran before he was Ed Sheeran.
No way.
Yeah. So because we were tracking underground people, basically everybody who's in a music scene, even around the world, who we could then, finally speak to, interview, and just have kind of a little more exposure on their side, because it gives exposure to us as well. So there were different websites we were looking into. And I remember following Ed Sheeran on Twitter a long time ago, before he was literally nothing was happening. It was just him playing in different pubs, and he used to tweet and say, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here." And I never got a reply, so I can't say that I ever interviewed him by email as well. But I did send out questions to him at that point of time. So it was.
He might see this and get back to you.
Who knows? Who knows? So that was fun. Like, there was a few, and there was an Australian guitarist, that Joe Robinson, who I interviewed as well, which was on the website and stuff like that. So we were doing a lot of. It was really interesting, because I had also a cousin of mine who married an Irish guy, and he was pretty active. He's a VJ actually, so he does visual effects for different bands and stuff like that.
Right.
And he was in India, so we connected, and then he gave me some contacts in Ireland as well. So we were just checking. We didn't even care, to be honest, if the band was doing well or not. We wanted to see if they wanted the exposure firstly, and we wanted to see whether we could actually give them a platform to have that. So we were literally going and searching for a lot of things, which was super interesting for me.
Yeah. So you had this kind of entrepreneurial spirit long before you even found network marketing.
Yeah, and I didn't even connect it. I didn't connect the two at all. It was just all, I wouldn't say fun and games, but it was very educational, to the point where we then my friend ended up giving the site to one event company, which still has like music festivals in India, in 4 different cities every single year. And they recognized that we did this and we created this community, so that's why they could go ahead and actually have the music festivals and create the culture and continue the culture rather than anything else. And after that, I started freelancing, because I said I liked what I was doing, but now I can't do it for anybody. So where can I go ahead and add my 2 cents basically? And I was doing it for local businesses, but all related to like looking at their social media, checking their blueprint in terms of how they're marketing. So I used to spend a day with them, see how things work, create something of my own which would get more engagement. If they wanted more sales, then I would be focused on getting more sales, and stuff like that. And then hand it over to them one time, hands-free, and walk away. Go to the next. So it was interesting, because in the beginning I didn't know whether to charge for it, didn't know whether to do it for free, just to get my hands dirty, let's say, in the working process. So actually there were companies like adventure sports kind of things that wanted help getting more people to go to an island to do surfing, for example, or stuff like that. And
usually when you're trying to break into something new, it's always good to do a kind of a freebie and then use word of mouth then.
So this is what I did for a long time, and I always loved doing it. And now the funny thing is, when I moved to Czech Republic, and Italy, I stopped doing anything as such. Then I went back now in July of 2018, and people approached me again. So I was like, I wish I could offer you this service, but I can't, because I'm miles away. So I was looking for a bridge between those two elements, and I said the best thing would be to look for more paid. But even though I might get and understand a little more paid marketing or paid advertising, I don't feel confident enough to offer that as a service yet.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I'm digging into, looking not into specific just courses, but more people who have already done this, because I know the business model is out there and people are doing it. It's just to cut the learning curve and actually learn from them so that I can then implement it, because I think that's the main, all from client acquisition to the rest. So hopefully it goes well. It's just something
that's a skill that you can transfer to pretty much anything, though.
Exactly. So in terms of looking for it, it's more a future in that sense, even to what I'm doing right now. So it will definitely help in both scenarios. Because
you obviously you always put the work in. You're always very transparent about what you're doing. To want to be at home with your daughter, like that's fuel, and it'll keep pushing you. It's the same kind of deal with me. Like that's what keeps me going.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the transparency is I want to see I just got married last year, a year and a half now, almost. Yeah, year and a half ago, and we moved. The thing is, the move from India to Czech Republic was something that we had in motion for years, because my wife and I have been together now 7 and 8, almost 8 years. So
don't get that.
So it's been a while, and that the main focus for me was finding a way. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I got started even looking online to see how to do things, because I wanted to find a way to. I mean, initially it was just get a plane ticket to come here, but then the whole move and stuff like that. And so in a way, I've achieved what I wanted to in moving here. But then obviously there are things that I see that I am an expat here. I am living. I have a good job. I like what I'm doing, but I definitely would like to have more time freedom, because it was starting all over again in the Czech Republic. So just the fact that we got married, we got a dog now. So that's another first step. They always say that's the first step before getting kids and stuff like that. But the idea was, and for me, very, very strongly, I just want to be a stay-at-home dad. And it may be a strange dream to say it, but I really want that. And I don't think I'll ever get bored with doing that. So it's means to an end in terms of finding something financially to sustain that dream.
You're well on your way, though.
Let's see.
There's positivity. Let's see.
It's good to have the start. So definitely I know that I'm in the right direction. So
yeah, you're kind of a standout guy, because I remember long before like recently we started to speak. I remember seeing you in Facebook groups. You used to have crazy hair, didn't you?
Yeah, I had blue hair.
Yeah. But you always stood out. I think obviously the blue hair is gone, but you still stand out.
I think that was the time where I took the courage, because when I got started online in 2011, which is a long time ago, I didn't understand anything that I was doing. I was nervous, and I knew that I had gone into a couple of companies that that I understood that I had to start marketing.
Yeah.
But they had these Facebook strategies, the typical, go to prospecting, basically. That was the whole strategy behind it. Go message, find the right prospects, and then convert them into leads, and then sales, and et cetera, et cetera. And I thought that was too time consuming for me. And I added to which I had my personal Facebook account. I know that you have also too.
Yeah.
And I do as well. And this one, which I have right now, which is growing really well, and I really like the momentum that it's taking, was a super big decision for me to make. Because I know when I was checking and researching and doing these things, I these cheesy posts that every company gives you about making money, and then they'll have like a poster and you can make this much or whatever it is. And by mistake, they had like a share button in the back office, and I remember clicking on it, and I clicked on share, and it shared on Facebook. And when I went on Facebook, I had people who, I don't know, university, old friends, everything, reaching out to me and say, "What the hell is this? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And
you went to
no, I didn't have another profile at that point. I just had this one, And I got nervous because I said I started this kind of quietly because I was checking things out, and then suddenly it was way public. So I immediately deleted the post and I said, let's wait, because I don't want to offer these things to people who I know unless I'm sure of it myself. And I was not 100% sure of it that time. So I was like, I need to dive into it much more before I did. But that actually stopped me from growing. That stopped me from taking action. A lot of action, years of action. Because it basically put me in a situation where I was afraid to promote anything on my personal Facebook, or I was afraid to talk about anything, but I was doing things in the background.
Yeah, I'd be the very same.
Yeah.
Only I didn't wait years to set mine up. I did it within a couple of months. And
yeah, it took me a couple of years. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember. I don't know if you remember. There was a sports app called Fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
I'd started to promote that, and I got on my before I had a marketing Facebook account, and I was getting messages going like, "What are you doing? Like, or what is this?" And you're trying to explain it, and people don't understand. And I was like, "Oh, this is just too much effort." So it was just easier to create another account.
Yeah. And that's ultimately what I arrived, because it was a big move for me. I remember that. I just moved to Italy for my master's, and I sat down there and I said, okay, I'm going to take this step because I can see it's possible. I can see people are winning at it, and I can see I can be consistent at it. But this is stopping me. So I needed to break that barrier, And that's why I considered myself, when I got started with the new profile, I said I'm a complete newbie, because technically, even though I had been absorbing the knowledge for the couple of years before that, I didn't really put it into action. And so
Yeah.
it's all theoretical until you actually see the results, actually take a step and do something about it. So until I did that.
It's taken the steps long enough that you can actually see a result. I think most people try it for a week and then they go, it's not working, and they disappear.
Yeah, that's the key element in terms of, like, I'm a firm believer, and I keep repeating this on everything, single thing that I do: consistency in literally taking the actions. I mean, last year I focused, for example, on just building up my YouTube. So I was pumping out videos and making videos one after the other. Before, there were tutorials, then they were promotion, then they were on specific things regarding the companies, but it still remained a sort of tutorial way. Yeah. But by 2018, I had already developed what kind of a brand I wanted for myself, how I wanted to teach people that it's a journey. So the tagline that I put for myself, in terms of a brand, I put it as Tips with Dave, because I realized I was giving a lot of tips. So I said, okay, I'm giving a lot of tips. I should continue to do that. But at the same time, I wanted a tagline there, and I said, I'm paving the way for my dream. I'm creating this road. I'm building this building, if for that matter, you're putting one brick on top of the other. So I'm paving the way towards what I see is possible. And that motivated me actually a lot, Alan, because to have that vision for yourself, I don't know. I mean, it's clear in terms of right now, it's gone down to change and know exactly that I want to be a stay-at-home dad and stuff like that. It's broken down. It's taken time, but having that initial vision was a big push that I needed.
Yeah, that's actually, anyone watching, if you go to YouTube, Tips with Dave, subscribe.
So yeah. I mean, last year was really cool with that. And this year, since I think December, in a month, we're less than a month away, and it's like 45 subscribers just this month for me. And I did not expect that at all. But it's just I'm doing the same thing as I'm doing last year, but it keeps, getting better and better as you go.
Bring that up because I actually, just before we jumped on, I checked you out real quick on Social Blade just so I could get some numbers. But yeah, 45 is fantastic in 30 days.
Yeah, and I was completely surprised. I was like, wow, when did I post about 500? Because I remember I did it recently.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It's maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks max.
Around that much. I think it was the 19th of December. I went back to check on it today because I said I wanted to just judge a little bit on how things were going. So yeah, and if I'll just do this because this is something that keeps me. I have a board in front of me. made this small office for myself. Basically, I have this board right here, which has a very simple plan.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read it out because it's super simple. It's one of the companies that we're in is FutureNet, so I spend time on FutureNet every day. I trade every day. I post a video every day. I post an Instagram image every day, which I have an account. I post 3 posts on Facebook. I have a Facebook Live, and I write an email, and that's it. And that's my day.
Yeah.
And I don't change anything from it because I realize these are things that are more active. And this is just the morning. So evening when I come home, I'm preparing for the mornings so that rather than me spending time doing things in the morning and creating videos. So in the evening when I come home, I'm like, I literally have on my evening program, make a video, make an Instagram post, have a Facebook Live, write an email, and do some training, interviews and webinars, etc. So it's literally, spending those simple, and it doesn't take too much time to make a program like this.
All them stack up into something at the end of the week that really adds up.
So it's literally, for me, it's been a lifesaver to have this kind of a thing, and I have it right in front of me because when I wake up in the morning, I'm sometimes that dull that I will forget what I need to do. I'll be like, what do I need to do? Oh yeah, okay, Instagram, and then I post it. So it's I don't know who was talking about this. I was listening to a video, actually a motivational video recently, and they said if you can do things in 1 or 2 minutes, if you see that you can, it's a task, that do it, finish it. Don't keep it for later. Don't.
Yeah.
The moment you see it, get it done. So I came home today and I was putting some food for my puppy, my dog, and tomorrow I have in my day job, in my work, we have an offsite meeting, so I won't be able to take care of him. I need to leave him with a colleague at work. So I realized that I was putting dinner basically for him, and I said, I'm here. I'm gonna prepare the lunch for tomorrow, which is just a literally less than 30-second kind of thing, but it's done, and I don't need to think about it tomorrow morning. So it's about taking those, it might be really stupid to talk about this productivity hack, but it's
not really, because a lot of people waste a lot of time in between things. When if they could just go, well, hang on, I'm already here. Now that's done. They'll save themselves 10 minutes tomorrow.
Yeah. So this is something that got my attention. I said I'm going to put it into action in this way. So it's helped a lot to make this plan and have like a daily method of operation, if you want to call it that, or whatever it is. But it's also, if you see you're spending time on FutureNet, it helps us. It helps me understand the platform. It helps me, talk to people about it. I can create a video if I want. It all has a domino effect on everything that you're doing. So that's something that I have. And at the side of it, I have another schedule, which is, this is specifically to outline my online work. But literally at the side of that, I have another very small program, which basically says exercise, shower, online work, breakfast, play with my dog, and go to work. And that's it.
You got everything laid out.
And it's just about keeping it there. I mean, I get up, so I need to be healthy. So I really want to start. This was a push that I needed to make again for myself. I said, man, I need to exercise because food is completely different here than it is in India. And unfortunately, I would say it's more heavier for me. So if I don't keep up with doing things or even walking daily, it's gonna get to you in the long term, and I don't want that to happen.
I think we all struggle with that, though.
I'm sorry?
We all struggle with that, with the different kind of foods and maybe getting a bit chunky from time to time.
Yeah, so it's just a reminder, and literally, and again, I have like a 7-minute workout app on my phone, which I'm using that.
Yeah.
So the small things that help you during the day, but I do find that it impacts my mind more than anything else.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I have a tendency just to wake up and go, what do I have to do? And I will go and do it, but it's never, I don't pre-plan anything. I just kind of, muddle along. I'd say if I made a plan, I'd probably be doing a bit better than I am.
But this plan I literally made last week, Alan.
Tips
It's not that. This plan I made last week, I didn't even make it, ages ago. It's because I keep slacking off.
Right.
That it's just I need a reminder, and sometimes I might not get it done, which is, in my opinion, completely fine. If, for example, you've exercised too much and your body needs rest, it's okay. You take the rest. So, but to have that reminder, you don't slack off completely, and it allows you, at least in my opinion, to keep that momentum. Because I realize the moment I slack off on things and I realize I have so much that I need to do and cram up in a weekend, if I'm not done it the entire week, then I'll have, like last week, I have one of those bad days, it just gets to you. You get completely demotivated in that sense, and it really gets to you, and it's I think part and parcel of the journey that we're on, personally as well. So
you have to be careful not to burn yourself out too, though.
Yeah.
So definitely, last night I just logged out. I just made a quick little post. I'm logging out. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Because I think if you reach that stage where you're too tired or you've stopped being productive, you're just completely wasting time. You're better off just to take the rest and then hit it hard again.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say you're quite lucky. The people you have around you, especially right now, I'm sure are very inspirational and motivational for you.
Yeah, my wife is a big support. Definitely. She is also, she's basically a trained paramedic. So she gets what the hustle is like.
Yeah.
And she's right now, though, working in a hospital because of some legal things here in Czech Republic, how they've created new laws. And even if you study to be a paramedic and you have the experience, you need to have 1 year as a nurse, but in like an ICU or something like that, basically resuscitation ward, for a year before you can actually go back to I don't know why, to be honest, this law was there. Maybe they have a little shortage of nurses, I don't know.
It's possible.
But yeah, so it's a struggle for her also. So we're kind of encouraging each other in that sense, because I went from, when I moved here to the Czech Republic, I started off in customer support for a travel company. I still work for the same travel company, and it's gone from having 24/7 shifts to finally having a routine 9 to 5. And I was doing everything that I'm doing online during all those moments. Again, I never stopped. I remember going to work, and there was the marketing system that I used. There was a Facebook Live that I really wanted to be a part of. So I was there at work. My phone was there. I was listening to things. No one could see my phone because it was in my pocket, and I had my headphones on, and I was just working. It's like, yeah, okay, this is cool, and nodding, and everyone was just staring at me and saying, "What the hell are you doing?" But I was also listening to things. So I mean, you do want to stay connected that way, and I've gone through those different phases of specifically shifts, and I think even you are on different kinds of shifts at the moment, right?
Yeah, I swap every few days. I swap from nights to days, and that's why I look so pasty. I never see
it really takes a toll on you in terms of even getting wanting to have like a plan in place. It really gets to you.
That's this year I had to just go, okay, wake up. What's next? Just boom, start getting through it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't getting anything done. I'd sit down and I'd be thinking of ideas, but the ideas would never happen because you go, oh, crap, I've got to go to work in 4 hours. So
yeah,
and it's just an endless cycle.
And my wife was having the same issue, and I told her recently. I said, it's not about planning your day in terms of having this proper schedule that you do this at this time and stuff. No, but it's rather what you want to achieve, and if you know that you have a few hours every day because you have a night shift the next day or whatever, you just need to do as much as you can in that specific time. Like, don't exaggerate it. Switch off and do that one thing instead of 10 things that you want to do. Do that one thing. It still makes more sense. and it's not even giving it a time frame. So it's just about having that idea and implementing it. So I've gone through all those, and I went through a cycle where I had 24/7 shifts, and then I went to supporting the Italian customer service because I do speak Italian, and so that went to 9 to 5, and then I became a team leader, basically a manager there, and I moved to a 24/7 shift again. So it was completely back and forth. And then I went back to supporting as a team lead to the Italian line, and then I went into business development basically right now. So it's been like a journey in the last 2 years with all these different changes that I'm a little confused also about what my yeah, it took me like 3 or 4 months to get used to a 9 to 5. Can you imagine? Because of all the shifts and everything that I was doing, it took me 3 months to say, okay, I'm going to wake up at 7 in the morning and do this, and wow, I have so much time. It was crazy, but it took
Well,
me.
even if I take, we can take some like personal time if we need it. So you can say, I'm going to take 4 hours today, and it takes it a 12-hour shift. It makes it feel like a half day.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you get home, you're like, how do people have all this time like every day and not do anything with it?
Yeah, it's crazy, and the travel industry is always changing. So it's a really dynamic space to be in, because there were moments where, okay, situations happen, especially in the last year. Lots of airlines closed down, different things, and then you have to stay overtime, work overtime, because you need to. There's some other business that's affected by it. At least for us, we were always keeping a track of all these things. So, I mean, it's definitely a challenge, and I think that's why I'm passionate sort of about the industry that I'm in, because I really like how things are progressing, even the openness sometimes of the people in the industry on what's happening. But I know that's already on a different level compared to people who are just getting in and
Yeah,
serving the customers and traveling itself. It's a completely different scenario. So a lot of people ask me, am I a full-time marketer and stuff like that? And I say, yes, I am. And I'm a part-time at my job, even
yeah,
though
yeah.
it's the other way around. But it's just, for me, I love this so much that I see it going places for me. And if I don't switch to that mindset in terms of having my side hustle as my main thing here, um, it's going to be stupid, really, for me not to get into.
Can you still remember like your first commission, like
Yeah,
where you were and
I do. If I'm not mistaken, it was a $7 commission, actually a $6 commission with Lead Lightning.
right?
That was the first ever commission that I got online, and I still remember it till today.
But it's a crazy feeling. I actually got mine. It wasn't lead lighting. It was one of the upgrades. The after gold, what's the next one after gold in PLS?
The platinum.
The platinum. I think is it like $100 commission off that. And I got it just. I was coming off a night shift, and just as I clocked out, my phone beeped, and it was an email saying, someone has come in and they upgraded all the way straight away. And I was like, this is crazy. Because realistically, it was more than I'd earned for that night's work. And I was like, I just need to learn how to do that more.
Yeah,
I don't need to be here. But
yeah,
that's the way it works anyway.
yeah. That was the same for me. Like, I went through that point where I realized, okay, I got this commission. I can definitely. It doesn't mean much, but it definitely means that it can happen for me over and over again.
Yeah,
And
it's proof that it works.
yeah,
That's all you need.
yeah. And the other thing that's interesting for me is, I always say this, but there's people who go into looking for an online or starting an online business have the hardest actually to start generating an income. And the reason why I'm saying this, it's easy and hard at the same time, um, is because the skill sets that you learn are so valuable. And if you take those skill sets and actually implement them in a traditional business, it converts like crazy.
Yeah,
And somehow it's just because of human nature, to be honest. we're just naturally skeptical about things. So when you look at it online, then you're skeptical about it. But if you take it the same exact, like I would even say the same words and pitch it to somebody who has like a business, and they do it and they get the result, they're impressed. And that's the thing that connected in my head immediately, because I was in Italy at that time. I was studying my master's, and my university asked me, I don't know whether you know, but Google AdWords, I think, gives them, depending on universities and NGOs, gives them like a budget for the ads.
Yeah.
So I took a bit of strategies that technically I learned on my own time online and with marketing and stuff like that. And we did some things and it converted, and they were like, wow. And I did the same thing in my business. It didn't convert. And I was like, why? But it's just the human mindset behind having, those physical products, and the advertising can be online, but it's actually having those physical products that change. So the moment you connect those two together, it's quite powerful.
Yeah. Well, that's obviously we promote a lot of kind of like more passive income opportunities, and like they were the kind of hook for me, because initially I never wanted to build a team. I didn't want to be posted on Facebook or making videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, if I can just earn by myself, if it works, I'm going to be so happy. And like that FutureNet Pro paid every 15 minutes at the time. So like I remember checking it half an hour later, and I was like, there's the money's there. What's going on? And it kind of got a bit addictive. So I was like, well, I want more packs. How many packs can I get this week? Until it got to a stage where it just kind of took over itself. And then like I can't remember the last time I put my hand in my pocket for a pack, but they continue to grow. So
yeah,
it's
and that's really powerful, to be honest, because it shows you. But even what they're doing, if you look at FutureNet and the model itself, and maybe that's why I brought the topic up of having the exact same skill sets.
yeah,
And it's just two different worlds, and sometimes they don't collide, but you can earn passively in both sides, and you can earn, like, have these programs. I got started properly understanding marketing in specifically that kind of a scenario.
yeah.
I think we were both in the company before that. I'm not going to mention the name, but
I think I've mentioned it here before.
yeah. So in Traffic Monsoon, for example, before, it was that was my first reason. Let's say, oh, this is how I'm going to do it, and this is how I can create a plan for myself where things are working on its own. The struggles that I personally had were, firstly, I was in India, and when I was in India, currency exchange. So this was something that I struggled with, because I was earning, yes, but I was also studying at that point of time. But it was a sort of my earnings were very sporadic. So I had, like, to give you an example, I was a freelancer and I used to do translation work from Italian to English and vice versa. And that came in once in 2 months. Or somebody would come from Italy to India, and they needed a translator or interpreter, sorry, for the day. And those things pay well, but they're very sporadic. They're not frequent enough to say I was earning on a consistent basis, and I could put aside something for the business that I was in.
Yeah.
So that's something that I struggled with, because I said, damn it, if I don't have that amount, I won't be able to buy an ad pack. For example, if I don't have 50, then so I need to work extra for that, or how do I get that? And it was a bit of a struggle in this sense, because I didn't have a specific stream of income which I could tap into and put aside something to lead to where I am right now. Then I moved to Italy, and it was the same thing, because I was a student there, and I couldn't because of the financial situation in Italy. It was difficult for a foreigner to get a job, because I don't know how much you know, but it's almost like your employer has to pay taxes that are as much as your salary for you to get the job. So he's paying twice the amount is going from his pocket. So it doesn't make sense. And this was the vicious cycle that was happening in Italy. So it was difficult for me to even though people wanted to give me a job, they said it doesn't make sense for me. So I ended up putting whatever I could. So if I saved something at the end of that week or that month because I did not go out or whatever, I used to use that to get going. And definitely I did lose a bit of money in different places because either the company went down or whatever, but I knew that it worked.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone gets burned somewhere along the way, but it's a powerful lesson. I think you learn really quickly what to look out for and what you want to see, and then just taking it at face. Like, I don't take anything at face value anymore. I have to kind of dig into it.
Me too. It's exactly the same thing. I go through it. I now am in, for example, one of the companies in my whole funnel that is very much interested in the same product that I personally like, which is specifically into trading. And I watched it for a year.
Yeah.
I wanted to see how it was going. I wanted to see how people's results were. I wanted to do my research in my own time. I wanted to check out the products from other people. Obviously, I didn't get to see everything because it was paid to get the products and stuff like that. But I just wanted a little bit of feedback from their side, and I wanted to see how transparent they were, how much they were posting on their official channels to update them, even for maintenance issues or whatever it is.
Yeah. I think I know the business you're talking about. I actually sent a message to a friend of ours for a little bit more information. He hasn't come back to me yet, but he's always busy, so I'm sure he'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah, I mean they have the same. If I say this, you'll get. They have the same legal counsel as FutureNet.
Yeah.
So that's.
Sorry, we're on the same page. It's all good.
We're on the same page. But it took me a year to get there. It took me a year before I actually, in this October, I said, okay, I'm gonna put in. I got my bonus from my work, and I had a little bit of extra money, so I said, okay, that's where I'm gonna put my money, and I always say use it as risk capital, and I do this for friends, I do this for family, I do this for dinners outside. If I'm willing to go out and spend that money, it's already gone in my head. I'm not expecting anything back. I'm not expecting anybody to pay me back.
Yep.
So that's the mindset that I have with gifts, with everything. Why would I want somebody to pay me back for a dinner or something like that? So if it's money spent, it's money spent, and that's the kind of thing that I had. So because I had a little extra cash, and I said it doesn't make sense. It's lying in the bank, so I don't mind spending it, and let's see how this goes. And it's been a phenomenal journey, to be honest. In the last now October, November, December, so it's like 3 months, and I hit my targets for what I wanted in 2018 already for that. And I realized something which was really powerful for me. I'm consistently getting commissions from people who have joined me, and I have no idea who they are. And all the promotion I've done literally is make videos and post them on YouTube. Literally, I haven't done a single thing outside that.
Yeah, well, we're on a very similar page because I wanted to prove this to the guys that were in my group. So I thought I'm going to take this on, and I'm not going to use any paid traffic. I was like, I'm just going to focus at YouTube, and that's it. Just to prove it to people that this is how you can really build a business.
Yeah, and I was completely shocked because I said, okay, fine, somebody join me. Ooh, because I'm used to my approach the last few years, especially the last 3 years, has been always connecting with the person one-to-one, getting them, getting to know me, and then starting. This way, when this happened, there are a few people in my team who are consistently, going ahead, and I realized that the fuel to that is also me putting out update videos and giving them consistent information about the company, about my progress, and they have more than me now. The amount that I put in, I've grown my account to a certain amount, but they have much more than what I have, and it's helping me because then I get to expand a little bit more as I go along. And it's really powerful when you realize that you got that lead through YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you're only doing it through YouTube. And that person has given you, I don't know, $100 a day or $50 a day, whatever it is, a $10 a day, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it's really powerful when you know that those kind of commissions can come through just being consistent enough about that. So
yeah. Well, like, I've only really started to be consistent on YouTube in the last few months, and thankfully, I have seen a big rise in subscribers and engagement. But I don't know what happened, but I was like, yeah, I mean, paid traffic and all that is great, but when you use a search engine like YouTube, people are actually searching for information. You just need to be the one that pops up or the one that they connect with.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like just like putting like a Facebook post and hoping someone sees it and hoping someone clicks the link. Put the information where people are looking for it instead of forcing it down where it's not wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
How I started to think about it, and things have even already started to change for me. Like, so it's definitely YouTube all the way.
And if you think about it, the more videos you put out, even if you're not showing your face, and just in their screen share videos or whatever it is, you're shortening. I don't know. In marketing, basically, you say you need at least 12 touches for you to convert into a lead or something like that, or for you to build authority. By making a simple video, you're sharing a bit of yourself, firstly.
Yeah.
And because of that, a person may connect with you just because they don't want to connect with the biggest person in that team, or biggest person in the company, or they think that you're really giving value on a specific topic. So you just shorten the whole know, like, and trust factor by just making a simple video. And literally right now, even if I have paid traffic, I send every single day, every single video that I make, I send to my email list, because at least that way they can get to know me better.
Yeah,
And
that's something I need to get better at. Because I've always, like, obviously everyone has, or most of us will have an email list, but if I've sent them a video today, I'm like, I don't want to bother them tomorrow. But the truth is, not everyone is open in each email, so you're more than welcome to send an email a day. So not everyone's going to open them every day.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at my stats, I don't have a big list, firstly. But if I just look at my stats, it's like around 5 to maximum 10% of the people will open.
Yeah.
And out of that, you'll have 1% that will click.
Yeah.
So if those 1% don't want to click, or they really are interested in the videos, they get to see it. Now, obviously, it's a numbers game in terms of if they have a larger amount and stuff like that. But I really enjoy. I think it's amazing for me because I get to write more every single day, share my story, and it's a good. I use it as like a reflection for myself.
Right.
Because I want to talk about this topic. Okay, what has it been for me in the last week? So I use it that way as a reflection for me on how my progression is, and that helps me, to be honest.
But it'll also be nice when, let's say a year, 2 years down the line, when you've reached your bigger goals, to be able to look back and go, geez, I remember that. Like, you're kind of documenting your whole journey.
Yeah.
Like,
I look back at the first video that I did, which was, I think, about lead lighting at that point of time, and I was like, gosh, it was hilarious. It was really hilarious. But yeah, things have changed a lot. I'm becoming more confident on camera. I'm becoming more confident in hosting webinars, for example. Now that's a new challenge for me because I started doing that. But it definitely puts you in a place where it helps you in life in general. And I would think that last year, for example, I had in February last year, so exactly a year ago, a little less than a year ago, but in my company they had this open day. So we are primarily a tech company, but in the travel industry.
Right.
And we had this open day to get young professionals interested and stuff like that, and the usual promotional to get more people interested in the company. So they had this event, which was the whole day, and you had people coming in from various other companies as well. And they asked me to speak about something. They said, choose a topic, whatever you want to talk about. And it doesn't even have to promote the company. You just talk, it's showing what kind of people we have in the company. So you can talk about anything. But because I don't know why they chose me, but it was really nice to have that opportunity to step up and do something. So my general topic was on career development,
Right.
because I enjoyed, that was my focus. Like as a manager, I know a lot of people will say, look at the numbers, look at the performance, and look at this and look at that. I didn't care about that so much, as long as the people were performing. But I was definitely looking at more on the development side. So I said, how can you impact what you're doing? Do you have enough skills that you think you're learning? What can I help you with to add to that skill set that you feel you have a potential goal? So there was a journey in that mindset as well of mine, in terms of uh, just having not the focus on the career as your job, but career as your life, and that changes completely.
Yeah.
Because then you focus more on the skills that you're learning, and you're not focused on the next salary raise, the next promotion, the next whatever that comes along the way, because that's the direction that the company tells you. So I always took development as a strong aspect for me and my team, and it was really nice to see them also move to different places within the company and stuff like that. So I said I want to talk about that because I'm used to it, and a lot of it comes from the kind of content we are consuming on a daily basis online. A lot of it is personal development for me, so it does impact my work, and I could see the impact that I was doing on a daily basis as well. So I kind of made it a game. It was really funny because I made it a game into 4 points, and I did this whole speech on each point before, one after the other, and I was super nervous because it was public event. I had like a workshop of 40 people, and I had to make it interactive enough. It was easy to make it a monologue, to be honest. It would be easier to make it a monologue than to make it interactive, because I was really nervous. I didn't know what kind of a crowd I would get, and I did this, and the whole workshop was specifically focused on 4 points that I had put together, and the idea was to have all these people in the room put 1 point from these 4 points of themselves. So, for example, you had past experiences, your goals, or the direction that you want to head, and action plan. So everyone has different past experiences. So I said, this is one group, that's one group, that's one group, and then each one has to say. And that's actually how life is, because not one of those people have the same past experiences. So it's really interesting to create a character from the random people that are there in the room. So it was an idea that just popped up in my head, and I said, okay, let's try this. And in between, just before I reached the end of explaining everything, I wanted to go through the points so that they have the right attitude to creating this profile, let's say. And one of the people in the room stopped and said, "Is this a motivational speech?" I said, "No, it's not. But if you need it, and you take it as that for yourself, I'm happy. But it's not going to be that. It's definitely going to be something more, round the clock." So these are skill sets that I think have. If I was not making YouTube videos, it would be extremely difficult for me to go on in front of these people and react to them, interact with them, and stuff like that. So this was the direct impact that I saw of steps that I took in the last year to put out videos and stuff like that. So
yeah. This show was initially created to help people get over the fear of video. For some reason, it's kind of taken its own little path. But do you still get nervous making video?
Obviously, every single time I say something and I say, should I stop that? Should I not? But I don't tend to edit any of my videos.
Yeah.
Because I think it loses its authentic value if I do.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen one of the previous guests, a guy called Colin, put up a video on Facebook the other day, and it's great to see people that have been on starting to kind of break out and do their own videos. But in it, he was like, Alan reckons he gets nervous, but he's like, I think it's a load of shit, and I genuinely do. But that's what I changed how I do here. Like before, I would have jumped on, had a chat with you, and then hit record. But I felt like I got too nervous, even trying to think of how to start them, and I'd get myself worked up. So it's easier. I press record now before the guest even gets here, and then it's just straight into conversation. How you doing? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. I find it a lot easier.
And at the end of the day, you're having a conversation, so it shouldn't. I mean, it doesn't. The thing, if you start off with Facebook Live, that's the most difficult, I would say, in the beginning, because you're waiting for somebody to come on. But if somebody comes on, what are you going to say? How are you going to interact? I mean, those are the questions that run through your mind, at least through my mind at that point of time. And so I did exactly what you're doing. I did with Facebook in 2017. Yes, it was 2017. 300 videos straight. So every single day there was a video out on Facebook, and I kept learning. So I made mistakes. I had vertical videos, and I said, "Oh, that's not the right thing. I should do it sideways." So like, okay, horizontal. Let's try this. How do you do that? And what do I say? How do I interact with people? I realized that inviting people was a cool thing, because even after the video was over, I got my views that, it just helped engagement. So these like tricks came up. But the thing that I struggled with at that point of time was, how do I be myself in front of this camera
Yeah.
when I know people are going to jump on it and are watching me? And how do I recognize them? Because I can easily forget about them, or I can just be shy and not say anything.
Yeah.
And there was a point.
I remember thinking, why would anyone watch anything, any video I make? Like,
Yeah.
But no one cares what you look like, what you sound like.
Nope.
They just want to see you be consistent, honest, and open. That's it.
Yeah. And I reached a point, literally, this was hilarious, because we had like a team webinar, let's say, team Zoom in 2017. And the people who were my business partners at that time was Lloyd Dodson and Rich Green. And it was hilarious because we had the Zoom, and three of us were trying to get things done technically, and there were some technical glitches the whole time. So every time Rich wanted to speak, something happened. And we just said, guys, let's do it another day, because this is not, we want to record it. We want to put it on sales funnels and stuff. Let's just do it another day and close it. So immediately after that, I went on live, and I know that Rich came on as well. And I know that Lloyd was watching me as well. And as I was on Facebook Live, I was just laughing for 15 minutes because I couldn't stop laughing. And I said, "This is hilarious!" And people were watching me, and I said, "Why are people watching me laugh?" That was basically the whole time that I said people really don't mind if they see who you are. That's all. And I explain in between, but it's like, when you get into a hysterical laugh and you cannot stop, so it's like,
calm yourself down for a second and then you're back to it.
Exactly. But that was the whole the whole journey that I realized that, okay, now I've broken the ice enough that I can do this.
Yeah.
But it's still one thing that is a struggle for me is topics, because I don't like to repeat the same things again and again.
Yeah. Well, I think just sharing thoughts is always good. Even if it's just a 2-minute or a 3-minute thing.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of this, blah 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 blah, and gone.
Yeah.
It is obviously they're little windows into who you are.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that I need to learn more, because I'm a little too structured in this sense, because I said, okay, I need to get on a Facebook Live. I need to plan a topic. I need to know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Or at least I not know exactly what I'm going to say, but the direction that I want, or what I want to hit on. And I need to stop doing that as well, because I need to just come out and speak about things because I feel like it that day,
Yeah.
And that's something that I find a bit of a struggle for me, honestly, because I get lost in picking that topic and boom, let's go right till the end and talk about it. And that's why I think this is, even in that sense, helping me, because I had no idea if you would interview me or not, or what.
No, I find it easier just to see where it goes.
But yeah, so that's something that I really need to, because it does make me a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. I get uncomfortable the other way if I plan something out, because I spend more time trying to think, how am I going to work that other piece in. I just press it and go, just whatever happens. Because everyone is different. I didn't want to have the same conversation with everyone. So if you leave it just flow, it's always different.
Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, I don't know. For me, it's a it's hard. I tend to get stuck on a certain thing, and I don't want to rant randomly. So what I've done is I've ended up going for different webinars and just randomly talking there in case people ask me to talk. So that helped me a lot to break out. But I don't do this on my YouTube videos. I find myself pretty easily because I'm sharing my screen and stuff like that, so it's easy for me to talk about and show and just be calm.
Yeah. Plus, obviously, your YouTube videos are about, what, 10, 15 minutes long. They're not,
Yeah.
it's not like you're sitting down for, like, in a webinar where you're doing an hour, maybe. Like, I used to be terrified doing those Yellow Brick Road hangouts, especially when I first started doing them. I was like, I'll just hang in the background tonight. If you really need to say something to me, I'll be here, but don't expect much. But after a while, you have to kind of, yeah. Doing this show made me push past it because I couldn't have a show about breaking the fear of being on camera if I wasn't getting through it. So that kind of pushed me on. Something had to click here, and let's go for it now.
Yeah, and it's also really different, to be honest, what you're doing, because there's one thing when you just say, let's have an interview, and do things and talk about a specific topic, and then randomly just have a conversation, and you're recording that conversation and putting it online. Obviously, it's much different, and I really like this idea because I think it's pretty authentic, and you get the person for who they are. So you never know who's watching.
Yeah,
honestly,
I'm finding that out more and more as the weeks go on.
Yeah. you really have, I mean, I've stalked people. I don't stalk, but I've been watching people throughout, grow differently. And to be honest, I was watching you very closely and I kept asking myself, who's this Alan? Who's this Alan? And he keeps popping up in different places. So it was really fun to meet you guys, and meet you also on the webinar itself, on the Yellow Brick Road webinar, and then, go ahead. Because and you notice, I mean, I don't think I would have ever said that. You would have never known that I was looking or have gone through, check things out.
No.
And I don't know who's looking in mine. I really don't.
Yeah, but I think if you knew, you'd be very surprised. Because over the last few weeks, I've gotten to speak to people and met people, and I was like, I don't even know how you know who I am. Like, I'm not. These are guys I would consider next level, giants. And you're going, why did you watch my video? I don't know why you do that. But it is a nice compliment. It's just not something I'm used to.
It shocked me the other day, and this is actually when I realized more that I don't know who's watching me. When Mark said it on the webinar, on the Yellow Brick Road webinar, and I was like, "What? You don't?" So I was really.
You've done a good job. You've marked. You put your little brand out very well. If people are noticing.
I just hope it brings, and this is my main focus as well. I mean, I really hope it brings value at the end of the day to somebody. I started doing, and this is, I have, in a way, I would say it's bad marketing. For most people would say it would be bad marketing, but I disagree with it completely. The fact that you, for example, put out a post or put out a Facebook Live and don't promote your link. Or don't promote. And I found myself saying this, and I still believe it till today. The moment I finished a video or finished a live or something like that, I specifically say, guys, if you got value from this and you think that you can share this with somebody, then only share it. I don't want you to just randomly share it. If you want to inbox somebody that you saw this video, it impacted a certain thing, and somebody's going through a similar situation, then share it with that person, because it adds more value to somebody else's life that way. And I just never have. I don't even remember when I have last put a link in my Facebook Lives, because I say, if you want to know more about what I'm doing or something like that, just reach out. I mean, I'm not going to promote it bluntly or blatantly, let's say.
That's nicer. It's less in your face, less aggressive.
And the same thing is with YouTube. At the end of the day, I say the links are in the description. They are, but even if you're just watching, it's fine.
Yeah,
I really don't mind.
it's the person's choice to hit more information on this than if
Yeah,
the text comes up.
yeah. So I mean, this is for me a really key element, and I know that, and sometimes I'm shocked because I have. This was another thing that was a good compliment, but at the same time, I was completely surprised, and I'm very cautious with these people because, like you said, that I consider them as also next level marketers or next level leaders or whatever you want to
Yeah,
term them as. But when, for example, randomly Rob Fraser writes something on my video, oh damn.
yeah,
did I do this well enough that he liked it, or he didn't,
yeah.
um
Well, I actually, speaking of Rob, I got you don't get a message for every subscriber on YouTube, but I got one more. I think it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. Rob Fraser has subscribed. I screenshot that and I still have it. I was like, look at that. And not that I got really emotional, but I was like, this is crazy.
yeah, and it's actually something not so it's like any other subscriber, right? But it still gives you a good push, and I think that's something that even I realize that I need to subscribe to somebody for this specific reason, because if I'm getting that kind of a push, that kind of a energy boost as well, in going ahead and being as consistent because I know that I'm doing a good job, then I should do the same with other people. So
Yeah, which is actually something that, well, so someone approached me and they were basically, obviously, when I put this post, it goes on YouTube and I'll also put it on Facebook, but I'll put the YouTube channel of the guest underneath it. And especially if they're new, and I'll encourage people to, like, show some love, go subscribe. It's good for the guests, especially if they're new. But even if someone like yourself, it's, if you get a few new subscribers, that's great. But I had this person tell me that I shouldn't do that. That I should just directing them just to my channel. And I was like, but why would you do that? I'm not afraid to point the direction into someone else. It's a big circle. Eventually, it'll come back to you.
yeah,
But
and I don't think I think it's very ethical in that sense. It's, why do you need to be selfish when there's enough going around,
yeah,
for everyone? You
there's
don't.
billions of people in the world. There's enough subscribers for everyone.
Yeah, to be honest, it's completely true. There's no need. You don't. That's why even YouTube, for their whole whatever partner program, they have a limit because you can reach that, and you don't need to focus on getting millions of views. You can just focus on a specific target, a specific thing. So I mean, there's enough to go around, and there's
Yeah,
enough, and that goes for everything.
yeah. I think some people just, not that they're greedy. I don't want to say greedy is probably the wrong word, but they feel like they're going to lose something if they put the spotlight somewhere else.
I think it's more of a let's rush to what we want to achieve, kind of an instant gratification thing.
Yeah,
So I need to show that I'm getting results so that I get more results, kind of.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was in that phase at the beginning. I was definitely when I just got started. I didn't know what was happening, and I was basically following what people were telling me. And unfortunately, I had some people who were telling me the wrong things to do,
yeah,
and I didn't like it, so I stopped doing it. And until today, when somebody sends me a link for example, in my inbox on Facebook, and I know it's a genuine person, it's somebody who's been following me for a while, and I had this happen to me recently. I said, "Hey, I'm not going to take a look at you. I'm not going to take a look at the link that you just sent because I usually don't accept any links. If you haven't spoken to me for a while, get to know me, see whether let me request it and then send it to me. I'm willing to, take a look at it. But if I haven't asked for anything, don't send me the link."
yeah,
And he apologized and everything. I said, I know that you didn't mean it, and it's not coming from a bad place because I know he's somebody who's following me. But I just reminded him that I don't like it at all, so that it doesn't progress, and it doesn't. And those are some boundaries you just have. So even if that means missing an opportunity, well, there's no harm. There's another opportunity going to happen soon. So
yeah. There's always more. But actually, the other thing that annoys me, when you get tagged in a post with maybe 80 other people, just so it turns up on your wall, that drives me. I just instantly block the person. It doesn't matter who it is. I'd block them. But I can't deal with that. Like,
I don't block because I get right now I get somebody who's the founder of one company that I'm in, actually iCoin Pro, which I learn my trading and everything from. And Paul does this sometimes. Like he has an important post that he wants to talk about just news and news. It's just cryptocurrency news, and he tags everyone.
But that's different. We all know Paul D'Souza. But this,
I just delete it from my timeline. That's all I do.
Yeah. But a complete stranger you've never spoken to has tagged you in a post just so it'll turn up, or they hope it'll turn up on your timeline.
Yeah.
But most of us, if you're smart enough, you'll have the timeline review, so you can untag yourself and then remove.
Yep. That's usually the best thing to do. Yeah, but it's really it gets to you if you keep seeing that happen.
Yeah, sometimes I'll give the person a chance, but like 10 minutes later you're tagged again. It's like, no, you're gone.
But I don't know what happens to you, but I'm going to ask you a question. Have you has it taken you time for you to get to a certain, let's say, surround yourself with the right kind of people in terms of an attitude, in terms of a work ethic, in terms of these kind of things?
I actually still have most of the same people around me as I did when I first started. I've always worked with Mark Crosby. Others have come around, but Mark's been a rock. But I think what held me back a lot in the beginning was, and I actually spoke about this with I met Steve Lawson the other week and we kind of spoke about this. Like I kind of felt a little bit like a fraud at the beginning, because although I was trying to put out content, but really in myself I felt like I hadn't achieved anything. I certainly hadn't made any real money. So I kind of felt like who am I to say like, oh, this is the right thing to do? And I waited such a long time, and then after I bought a car from what I'd earned on FutureNet Pro and a couple of other bits, and as I got more confident, I was like, I suppose I've done more than the person just starting. So maybe if I just start speaking to those, where I'll make my content for those people, and then over time it just kind of changed. But I definitely think having the right people around you helps immensely.
Yeah. This is something I didn't have in the beginning, to be honest, because I was literally starting from scratch and I didn't know anybody at all, and I didn't know who to connect with, and unfortunately maybe it was really unfortunate for me that I had people who just were interested in me from me. That's all. So that's the only impact that they had, and I found myself surrounded by people who were either, and this is not a bad thing, but it just it took me a time to reach the right set of people who have gone through enough to understand or be in the right attitude in terms of how they're working online, and you are an example of that. I mean, you can see that. I mean, there's a specific work ethic that goes throughout that some unfortunately some people don't have. So but can be learned, don't get me wrong, that can be learned easily. But in the beginning they just didn't have it. So I found myself in a circle of do this, and you'll just focus on the money. And I got tired of, even though I got into it because of the money, I got tired of hearing that. And it's kind of stupid for me to say, I mean, not stupid, but it's kind of funny for me to say this, because we're in the make money online area, in that kind of field. We're looking at opportunities, and we're focusing on those kind of things. But it's not about that. It's about the connections that you make. So for me, it was really difficult to break through, because I had people reaching out to me thinking that I'm making millions of dollars online, and they wanted to get started with nothing. And it wasted so much of my time to talk to these people. And I realized that I was telling them something, but it was just not going through. So I
always think that they're missing like a link. They're like, oh, he's just not giving me all the information. When really the only bit they're missing is the action. Like go to work. It's the same as having a job. It's just for you. It's just yourself. It's your business.
Yeah. And it was just not going through. So I had to, and I don't know why I got affected by it, maybe emotionally. So I used to be like putting on my messenger and like sending voice messages as well and saying, hey guys, do this, come on. or they were telling me sob stories or whatever it was, and maybe they were all true. And I really felt bad as an individual that I was, pushing them off, and I had to be harsh at one point of time. But I said, it's pointless for me to continue like this. I need to be in the right set of people who are doing the same things in the same mindset as me. And that's when I started to like filter out and chuck people away. There are a couple of people who are still on. My friends, for example, on Facebook, they haven't joined me in anything, but they've realized what I said to them a year ago.
Yeah.
And now they're coming back and they're saying, "Oh, thank you for telling me that, because it shook me up." So
That's it coming full circle.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it took me a while to, and it for me, it was emotionally affecting me. Like it really had its impact, because I said, I'm just trying to do my best, and this person's not getting it, and I really want to help them.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for me getting emotionally affected by it was because of the impact that you surround yourself with all this, the fact that, you're going to get a commission from this person, you're going to get a commission from this person. It gets to you subconsciously that you don't even realize it. So you tend to push the person into actually making a buying decision when actually they don't even get you, and it's not worth having that kind of a quality of lead come through that understands, that wants to work with you, that takes the. So I mean, there's a switch that you need to disconnect from those and connect more with the people who you understand.
Well,
I think that was a subconscious impact, on myself.
Yeah, I definitely changed. Obviously, when you first start, that it is the commission is what you think about. But I found once I made some money, and once I knew that, hang on, I don't need to build a team to make money, because I'd gone on and learned other skills, and I was like, well, if all of this went away, I'd still have those skills, and I can still make my business grow. And I stopped worrying about building. The team didn't have to be thousands of people; it just had to be the right people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about every commission I could get my hands on, because in some cases it isn't worth it, and you're better off saying, this isn't for you. Or I've said it on, I can't remember if it was White Bureau Wednesdays or another one of these. I think I've talked more people out of working online than I have.
Me too. There was
someone to waste their time or their money if they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't have that little spark, and I think you get to realize what that little spark is. It's probably hard to explain it, but when you have a conversation with someone, you know if they're looking for just fast money, I usually turn them away.
There's this guy who's in one of the companies that I'm in iCoin Pro actually, who reached out to me because he knows I'm trading on a daily basis, because I'm posting results and proof and stuff like that. So he reached out to me because he needed some help, and I said, yeah, let's get on a Zoom and see what I can do. He's not in my team. He's not nothing. He's just a person in the same community who needed some help and wanted to go through things with me. So we went through it, and he told me all the things that he's doing online, and his main a problem was focusing on and getting those results on that one thing, before actually stepping up his game and going to something else. And he asked me what I was in, and then when I said what I was doing, he said, "Oh, but I'm interested in that." I said, "Don't come and join me in that." That was my immediate reply. I said, "No, you get this straight. Like, you connected with me today because of this. Learn this skill, understand it, get it going, get a consistent flow coming in. Then we can talk about anything else. Right now, this is what you need to do, and that's it." And he looked at me and said, "Why are you pushing me away?" I was like, "Because you don't need it right now. You said your problem was focus, so just focus on this thing, and don't try." And that was a clear example. And we laughed about it. He's like, "You're pushing a commission away." I said, "I don't really mind that, because
it'll come back another way."
It doesn't affect me. I'm more concerned about you losing out and getting go and heading off in another direction that you shouldn't, because you can actually make it by taking this action in what he was doing. And we enjoyed the conversation and everything, but this is, and we joked about, you said the exact same words that you said. I may have pushed people away from so many opportunities of making those sales, but it's fine.
But
I don't see this.
I know for me personally, I think I've ended up with more respect because of that than just grabbing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had people come back to me, 3 months or 6 months later and go, "I'm ready now." And you're, okay, great. Because they just needed that time just to get properly to understand what they were doing. You don't want
Yeah.
people to make $1,000 decision just on a whim. Oh, I seen your video, I'm ready. Well, do you even know what it is? you know. But
That's something that happens with me and Rob sometimes, because I tend to speak to him and tell him my ideas, and then he just doesn't reply. Because it happens. He's busy. I know that he's busy. He doesn't reply. And then one day I said, "Hey, I just joined." But done. So he's happy because he said, "Okay, fine, you did your own." I don't know whether it happens, but often, many times for me, it's happened that I've joined something. I want to figure it out. I want to understand it. So I'm going through everything. Then I have questions. So I reach out to the person who sent me there, or I reach out to the owner, or I reach out to whoever's in charge. I tend to go in that direction. I just send a message, and before they can reply, I already found the answer on my own.
Yeah, it's really not. There's nothing really that hard that you can't figure it out. Like if you give it a couple of minutes, you've got it.
So then I tell myself, if I'm like this to people and I can annoy people like this, I'm gonna get the same kind to me. So I need to be patient enough to
Do you have your? I know you have your Facebook fan page, but do you have your own group?
Not yet. I mean, I made the group, but I haven't added anybody in it.
Yeah. That's it. I made a group very early on. It's usually only me that posts in there. But I initially set it up so that people would ask questions and everyone help each other. Away from the bigger groups.
Yeah.
But I still get everyone just PMs me. I'm like, can you go back and ask that in the group? So I'm not answering the same question over and over again. But everyone just likes to PM, I guess.
And I think that's a different approach.
Yeah. You're trying to be there for everyone, and you're trying to, obviously, I do like helping people, but I know, especially last year, I did get to a point last year where I thought I needed new tons. It was just flat out just texting all day, but it was the same questions. They come up, every third question would be the same. And you're going, oh, hang on, I need to just put this over here where everyone can see it. And it made it a bit easier.
And this is, I started saying this to a lot of people who ask me things in FutureNet. I said, just send a ticket. But support doesn't answer, then keep sending a ticket.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that, like, I think sometimes people forget that, who you join is just the same as you. They're just an affiliate. They don't have any secret password into the company, or, I think some people might see you as much more.
Why are you promoting this stuff like that?
Yeah.
That being said, there was a funny story that I got an email today on. I have no idea who this person is. Somebody from Asia. An email sent to me asking how much do I charge for reviews on YouTube, and they are willing to. How can they have a screenshot of my geo targeting on YouTube? So I was a bit suspicious because I said, why do you want a screenshot of my back office on YouTube? So I just replied, I said, they didn't mention company, they didn't mention anything, they just randomly said this. I said, I don't really charge for any reviews because I don't really do any reviews as such. I talk about the products that I have, and that's it. But there comes a point where people will ask you these kind of questions as well, and you do have. What I tend to do is right now I make a video every single time. I have like 2 or 3 times if somebody asks the same question, just make a video about it.
Yeah.
Short video, send it out. Boom.
That's it, and it does work. That's how I started making videos. I used to do these little tutorials, and it was purely just to save myself time. If I was out playing with Ashley, and I get a question in, I just send back the video, and like, watch that. And you get people going, that's a 3-minute video. I don't have that long. Like, just watch it. It's the answer.
Or they'll come back and they'll ask you the same question again. I said, have you watched the video? Have you gone through it? and you can see it, like from the way they write to you, you can whether they watched it or not. Like, it's so obvious. But yeah.
Yeah, but eventually everyone comes around.
Yeah.
Cool. You have another webinar to get to?
I have it in an hour and a half. Yep. I'm going to be talking a lot today.
It's good for you. You're very, very natural on camera, so definitely those presentations and stuff from work have paid off.
I honestly I think I get stuck sometimes. But it's good to have somebody else on camera, because then if I get stuck, I tend to say, okay, it's over. The video is so it ends there. Yeah. But if
just blurt out the answer and then don't look at me.
But then if you do webinars like right now, at least with Renee and myself, and hopefully Rob also comes on. But if it's just Renee and myself, at least we look at each other like, okay, that's you now. I don't even have to say anything. She just takes over.
Yeah.
And picks up.
I think after a while, you kind of learn each other's, not movements is probably wrong, but after a while you just naturally flow.
Yeah.
And that's when things get really good.
But yeah, that's the cool thing about webinars. I didn't think that I started to do it on my own last year for myself and for my plan and everything, and for my funnel, basically what I built, and and it got really boring to do it on your own.
Yeah, well, you probably feel like it's just the same information. You're just kind of
I'm just repeating. I can make a video about it and that's it. I don't need to have like a Google Hangout for it or something like that. So I said, nah, I'm just gonna stop. But then if you don't reach out to people, this is another thing that I always talk about. If you don't reach out to people, then you're not gonna get any response, firstly, and you might not get the value that you need. So for example, on my Facebook page, and I've asked you this already, if you would like to have an interview regarding a specific thing. Now, obviously, I'm taking it a little differently on my Facebook page, because I want to add a lot of content that people get, and then they come there and say, oh, this is the kind of tips that he's giving. He's bringing on people who are adding, value in that sense. So I've had a couple of lives on my Facebook page. So that's been an interview kind of method. So I've reached out to Steve. I've already done an interview with Steve Lawson last year when 2017, when I was doing my Facebook Lives, and it exploded. Like, it was one of the top views that I got the whole entire year, because it's Steve and his community is quite big. So it just explodes your views.
When I met him, he was like, "Oh, I'll take a picture. Like, I'll make a little post." And he was like, "You might get a friend request or two." My phone just melted. He made a little post saying, "Oh, he's got a show coming out. Make sure you send him a friend request." And that was it. Battery drained within minutes. Crazy.
Yeah, it's Steve, so I knew that it would be that way. And then any which ways, I like what I've followed him along the way, and it's been really nice to have conversations with him regarding different things. So I reached out to him. I definitely want to have an interview with him. But I reached out to people who are either owning the products or co-founders of the products, or who are top trainers, or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter the position, but they are at a different level than me, completely. And not a single person has said no, Alan, till today.
Yeah.
Everyone has said, okay, we'll do it at a different time. Or maybe we cannot do it, or whatever it is. But I mean, not cannot do it, but they said we'll do it the next month, or whatever it is. And I said, I'm fine with any time we can plan it. There's no specific days that I need to do it and stuff like that. I would just
that was actually the top tip Steve gave me for this show. He was like, never be afraid to reach out.
Yeah. And so I just literally reached out to everybody. I made a list of people that I wanted, because I saw me watching their journey in different ways and learning from them. And I said, okay, fine, I want to interview them, because I'm learning from them. I think other people will be able to learn about, for example, obviously, Steve, I would talk more about, video marketing and Facebook and everything that he's done there. Mark has said yes. I'm waiting. We have to decide when to interview Mark, for example. And so on. Like, I've reached out to people very organically, and I said, it's okay if you say no, there's no issue. I just thought that it would build my Facebook page for sure, but it will
Yeah.
also add value to the people who are coming to the page. And that it doesn't matter if it's 100 people, 200 people, or whatever it is. There are people coming to the
But
page.
no one loses in that scenario. It's
No.
each person is profile is getting raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And literally, this not a single person till today has said no. I've done a couple, and I have still a lot more to do. I'm not rushing it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whenever they are free, whenever I'm free, and then we can sit and we can have the interview. Usually on a Saturday is what I wanted to, just because I'm more free on that day. But it's been a crazy eye opener for you to not be afraid. Reach out to these people, have a response, because sometimes you don't even get a response.
Yeah.
And say, it's a real eye opener for many people who are scared. Should I write this? I'm sorry. Who will say? I've got messages saying people call me sir. When they call me sir, I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Instantly right back. No need for sir. Alan's fine. Just hey.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway.
But I'd love to come on. I'm not sure what value I can give, but I'd love to come on.
We'll figure it out what and when and how and stuff like that. Definitely. But
I could teach you how to juggle or something.
I definitely wanted to. I would love to talk a little bit more about kind of also what you've succeeded in doing, because along the way those successes has led to specific things that I think people can pick on and choose which they would like to do. So definitely looking at that is an interesting thing, but it's up to you, because in my opinion, it doesn't matter if you get 1 commission or 10 commission. There's a success every single time you do something positive in that action. So
Yeah. It's like I was talking to Mark and stuff, like even about doing the show. This show, there's no commission, there's nothing to buy or anything, but I get such a kick out of this when someone comments under it like I got this from it, or I learned this. That it's just a nice feeling.
mm-hmm.
Like there's no monetary value in it.
Nothing, yeah.
It's just well, I appreciate everyone. It's like obviously you're giving up your time to come on and talk to a potato head, and so it is appreciated. But yeah, it's nice if someone can just pick up one nugget along the way, then it's worth it.
Yeah, I think we shared quite a few, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, plenty from you.
I wouldn't say all. That's definitely. I say that a lot has come from you. What I've appreciated, to be honest, is that I've realized that you and I are pretty similar in different ways. So
that's a good saying. I'm gonna steal that.
I mean, we are unique. Obviously, we are different people, so we're similar, but we're in different ways.
Yeah. I think we think a lot on similar paths, for sure. But I don't want to take up any more of your time, so we'll I'll wrap this up. But definitely give me a shout for whenever you want to do a Facebook Live, and I'll jump on with you, no problem.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries, guys. If you've watched till now, there's going to be some links under here to Dave's channel. Check him out on Facebook, Tips with Dave. Make sure you give his page a like. He is literally constantly putting out good value, always like proper nuggets, not just like, oh, that's interesting, stuff you can actually use. And if you implement it, you're going to see a change in your marketing or in your business, whether you're online or offline. That is it from me. Until next week, I'll see you again on A Look Behind the Post. Thanks, guys.